Thank you for being here tonight. Well, we're going to move into the last night of the Millionaire Academy. We have a segment tonight that is going to be led by a lady who is a leading financial expert, and we're glad that she would take the time to come to us and join us tonight. Let me properly introduce Iffat Walker. Iffat Walker is our financial facilitator for this evening, and she comes to us from humble beginnings in St. Thomas in the Virgin Islands. And she started her business, she started her business at the tender age of 23. That's when she started her first business. And Iffat Walker is an entrepreneur, finance and accounting professional, trainer, advocate for financial literacy, social justice reformer, nonprofit leader, and author. She's a woman on the move. But the road from her beginning to now was not easy. Iffat was a high school dropout and a teenage mother who decided to defy the odds. And after dropping out of high school to care for her son and work full-time as a CNA, she went on to receive her GED and continued her studies at Georgia Piedmont Technical College. Yes, come on, that's an awesome testimony. And that's only half of the story. She went on to Georgia Piedmont Technical College and then transferred to DeVry University in Decatur, Georgia, where she received her undergraduate degree, a Bachelor of Science in Technical Management, specializing in accounting. And she then went on to study at the Keller Graduate School of Management, receiving a master's degree in accounting and financial management. Iffat is a CPA candidate and holds many professional certifications. Our speaker tonight is the owner of Unbounded LLC, a virtual accounting, tax, bookkeeping, payroll, and business consulting firm. And she's also the founder and executive director of an international 501c3 nonprofit organization. And her organization, Community Action Now, focuses on providing disaster management, education, advocacy, and outreach services to vulnerable populations in Metro Atlanta, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Ghana. Well, she's described by her peers as a compassionate, fierce, no-nonsense, results-oriented leader. She's a straight talker when it comes to business and personal finances. And we're so glad to welcome her tonight. Would you please stand to your feet at this time and help me welcome to the Millionaire Academy our guest speaker for this evening, Iffat Walker.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that introduction. I absolutely appreciate the invitation. Thank you so much to Pastor Dr. Jamal Bryant and the New Birth family. Good evening. How has it been these last 4 weeks? I'm week number 5, right? I'm week number 5. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I want you all to get ready this evening to be taught. I want you to get your pens and papers out. I want you to learn this evening, and I want you to leave here with an actionable item, with something that you can use starting tomorrow, okay? Are we ready? This series is called Level 1, Level Up. I want y'all to say, level up. Level up. You said you want to be a millionaire, right? So I'm going to need you to level up. I'm going to need you to change your mindset. These last 4 weeks, I've heard speaker after speaker after speaker talk to you about the staggering statistics as it relates to the African American communities and financial literacy, the disparities as it regards to the access to capital for entrepreneurs. This evening, we're going to focus on capital for entrepreneurs, access to capital, attainable access to capital. So who I'm speaking to tonight specifically are going to be those shade tree mechanics. I'm going to be talking specifically to those young men and young women that are doing hair at home and thinking that they have side money that you've had. I'm speaking to those that have an in-home daycare that's licensed, some that are unlicensed, that are doing daycare services, and they're really not understanding how to level up their businesses, how to move from the shade tree, how to move from the I'm doing it on the side, and get the money that you need to, get the capital the access, the capital that you need to move forward in your business. Are y'all ready tonight? How many of y'all are business owners? I want to know who I'm talking to. We've got a room full of business owners. How many of y'all have not yet launched a business but have an interest in launching a business? Very good, very good. How many of y'all have been in business for 1 to 5 years? How many of y'all have been in business for more than 5 years? How many of y'all are working on your second business because the first one did not last or it failed? And it's okay if it failed. My first business failed. Let's tell the truth now, because if we're not telling the truth in this room and we want to level up, let's start with the truth. How many of y'all started a business and it didn't work out? Okay, see, that's more like it. That looks more like the statistics that we've read about, right? At first, I think we only had about 2 people raise their hand. So tonight, we're going to have an honest discussion and an honest, completely honest, no lying. We are in the house of the Lord, okay? So as I ask questions, I want you to feel free, okay? This is not a room of judgment. This is a room of honesty so that we can understand how to take it to the next level. Y'all ready? Okay, next slide. And we're going to keep going down to slide number 3. Slide number 3, ladies and gentlemen, I want y'all to connect with me. Rule in business, okay? One of the number 1 rules in business is network. Network, okay? Network. Always come armed with your business cards wherever you are. I want you to network. I want you to take down my contact information. I want you to make sure that you have checked in to New Birth, okay? Number 1, check into New Birth. Number 2, connect with me. Because I'm going to follow you, you follow me. We're going to connect, and this is one way, okay? So I want you to get in the habit of doing what I just did. When you walk into a room, take over that room, own that room, introduce yourself, okay? Slide number 4. These are the principles that I live by in both my business and my nonprofit. We believe that we have the absolute ability to undo poverty, okay, using 3 key areas. One of those areas is financial literacy. Financial literacy is a key to undoing poverty. In addition to financial literacy, entrepreneurship. Why do I believe that entrepreneurship has anything to do with undoing poverty? Why? Why would I say that? Let's talk, for example, let's look at a population of those that have been incarcerated. How many of y'all either have been incarcerated and or have a family member that was incarcerated, and once they got out of prison or jail, they couldn't find a job? They had a hard time finding a job, and they went back to what they were doing before, and ultimately 1 or 2 things happened. Either they were imprisoned or they were killed. One of the 2, okay? And it doesn't have to just be drugs, okay? It doesn't have to just be drugs. There's a whole lot of other things that it could very well be. We're talking to that population now for a moment because when a person does not have the ability to provide for themselves, that pushes them right into poverty. Are y'all with me? That's one key. When you are able to provide for yourself, regardless to the restraints that an employer may have, 2 things are happening. You are, number 1, you are providing employment for yourself. You're also creating jobs, are you not, as an entrepreneur? So I want you to shift your mindset right now. Number 3, community development. Why am I even focusing on community development? And we're here tonight at a financial literacy, wealth building, Millionaire Academy. Because what we are doing right now is a part of community development. We are training one another within the community. We're using this venue, we're using this church to train one another. Over the past week number 5 now, you all have gained tools, right, that should be able to equip you if you apply them. You can go to all the seminars in the world if you want to, but if you're not willing to apply what you have learned, you would have wasted your time. And I don't think many of us have time to waste. Do you have time to waste? So how many of y'all are actually going to apply or have already started applying what you learned? Okay, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. So we're not going to keep talking about personal taxes. Here and there, I know you all have heard about personal taxes, and, as a matter of fact, I'm an author of a book that's out there in the lobby that touches on personal taxes. That touches on personal credit, okay? What you all are going to focus on tonight is business credit, okay? So I want you all to really get your pens and papers, because I'm going to show you over the next 30 minutes, I'm going to give you the attainable steps. And if you simply follow the steps, you will be able to establish business credit, okay? Next slide. You can go to the next one. As a matter of fact, you can go straight to, number 6. And I want to talk to you all because I started off talking about undoing poverty. I want you to let's get a clear understanding of what poverty is, okay? What is poverty? This is what I believe. This has been one of my favorite quotes as it relates to poverty. I absolutely believe that poverty is man-made. That's why I believe we can undo it. There are certain things, social justice reform, that is needed in order to assist us in obtaining the wealth, okay, that we absolutely desire. Some of us, unfortunately, based on the color of our skin, we're not as fortunate to have opportunities as others. And we're all so familiar about that because we've talked about that, and I've heard that from a lot of the presenters before me the entire week talking about that. So by now you should know that there is an obstacle that, in my opinion, we can overcome these obstacles. And there's so many ways to do it. Financial literacy, again. Financial literacy is what you all have been working on over the week. Okay, next slide. Financial literacy is the possession of the set of skills and knowledge that allows an individual to make informed and effective decisions with all of their financial resources. If you are not equipped with the tools, if you do not have the skill set, then you're not able to make informed decisions about your finances. So that's what the importance of financial literacy. Next slide. Entrepreneurship, and I talked to you about this a moment ago. It's the capacity and the willingness to develop, organize, and manage a business venture. Many of you all have already said that you've done that. You're in the process of doing it. You have a great idea and you want to launch it. Next slide. Business ownership, okay? Many of you all you're there. That's where you are. And you want to move forward. Next slide. 16.5% of minority-owned businesses reported profits, okay, being negatively impacted because they don't have the access to capital. And those are specifically, majority of them are 9.9% of them are non-minorities, okay? The other 16.5% are minorities. I don't want to go too deep into disparities because we've done that over the past few weeks. I want you to go ahead and jump to slide number 14 because I want to get to the heart and to the beat of this tonight. Y'all have your notepads out, and for those of you that are taking pictures, okay, I want you to pay close attention, starting with slide number 14. How do you build business credit, okay? Business credit, how many of y'all are familiar with business credit or have already started establishing business credit? Well established with business credit. Who's never heard of business credit? Doesn't know what it is? Go ahead. It's okay. I see the faces looking. Go ahead and raise your hand. A moment of honesty. You have never heard of business credit. Have never used business credit. Thought it was for big businesses. Very good. Very good. Thank you for being honest. We're going to touch on business credit, and I'm only going to tad bit touch on grant funding and the importance of it and how preparing properly as a business, okay, prepares you for grant funding. Business credit. Let's start. We're going to go straight to Where we at? Grant funding? Okay, grants are, y'all are familiar with grants, right? How many of y'all are familiar with grants? Okay. Who's not familiar with grants? I want to know who I'm talking to in the room. Okay, grants are non-repayable funds or products dispersed or given by one party, often a government entity or something like that. But let me make a clear distinction here. Although the definition says non-repayable, if you are not in compliance, you will be paying that stuff back. So let me just make sure we're real clear on that. So it's only non-payable if you are following the rules, okay? So let's make sure we're clear on that. Next slide. Business credit. Business credit is credit that is established using the business's EIN number. Now, how many of y'all have an EIN number? How many of y'all have been utilizing your EIN number? Put your hands up again. How many of y'all have been utilizing? And how many of you have an EIN number? So for those of you that have an EIN number, did you just get the EIN number and you thought, hey, I'm in business now, I have an EIN number, and I've just been filing my taxes using. So I think that's an honest facial expression over there. It's okay. It's okay. There are many people that are uninformed of how to properly utilize your EIN using the, for establishing business credit. So number one, where are we at? We're on 18. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that. EIN. Your EIN number is much like a social security number. Just like when you birth a baby, you go and you get them a social security number. You birth a business, you go and you get an EIN number, right? You nurture that baby with that social, you protect that social security number, right? You do the same thing with the business, okay? You do the exact same thing, but there are some differences. Oftentimes, how many of y'all have taken out a business loan, an actual business loan? How many of y'all have applied for a business loan? How many were denied for a business loan? Okay. When you applied for a business loan, do you recall them asking you to use your social security number? Right? And you got denied, right? You're not supposed to put your social security number down for a business loan. When you put your social security number down for a business loan, you become the personal guarantor. So that's not a business loan, is it? If you're responsible and your social security number is attached, doesn't that become your loan? So here's the thing that I'm here to teach you tonight. A lot of bankers themselves are uneducated on the difference between the business credit and personal credit. So automatically, when you go into a lender, when you go into a bank, they're going to ask you, just without even thinking about it, they're going to hand you the sheet. They're going to talk about your assets, your personal assets, okay? Again, personal versus business. This baby is separated from you. Your business is your baby. You should not be using your social security number, kind of like, how many of y'all have heard, and don't lie about this one, people that have used their social security numbers or their children's social security number on their light bill? Tell the truth. How many of y'all are guilty of doing that? Go ahead and raise your hand. So we know who we're dealing with tonight, right? So it's the same thing. A lot of them are uneducated in this concept and don't understand, and they will argue you when you go in there and you say, hey, I want to apply for business credit, and they ask you, they say, well, we need a listing of your personal assets, we need a listing of your business assets. Oftentimes they'll ask you for both, right? They'll ask you to put your social security number, and then they may or may not ask you for the EIN number. What they should have done was ask you for the EIN number. No social, no social. How many of y'all have been approached by Amex, American Express, and they said they're going to give you a business credit card, and they run your personal credit? Are y'all familiar with that? That's not a business account. That's a personal account. Anytime your social security number is attached, that means it's on you, okay? So if something happens, it's on you. They will go after, and when I say they, I mean whoever you owe, okay? They will go after your personal assets. That means your house, that means your car, that means your bank accounts, if you are using your social security number. Are we clear on that? So business credit, we understand that there is a complete and total difference between business credit and personal credit. Now let me talk to you really quickly about some of the benefits, okay, of business credit versus personal credit, okay? Business credit can be built much faster than personal credit, much, much faster, oftentimes in about 6 months. And the amount of credit is usually 10 times more than personal credit. 10 times, where you can get approved for a personal credit card, okay? Say they give you $10,000. If that were a business credit card, think about 10 times that, because you're using your EIN number, okay? Now, what does that have to do with access to capital? Let me tie it in really quick. You're a business owner. You need to make payroll, okay? But you also need to buy supplies, okay, in order to complete the jobs that are sitting there for your clients. You need to make a decision. Am I going to use this money for payroll, or am I going to use the liquid cash that I have, okay, for those supplies? What you can do with business credit is you can delay the cash, okay? You use the credit. Get your supplies. Pay that staff with the liquid. You don't have to lose, okay? So when we think about access to credit, access to capital in small business, oftentimes we're thinking, I need to have cash, okay? I need to have cash right now to pay all these bills. That's not the case. You may need to delay your cash, and oftentimes that's much better for you to be able to delay the cash, use the credit. So we're going to go straight into, we're going to go straight into how you do this, okay? I want you to get your pens and papers ready. We talked about some of the benefits. I'm not going to go over all the benefits, but I want you to go ahead. I'll go over one more, okay? We already talked about the approval limits are much higher. When a business owner applies for financing, their business credit is reviewed, not their personal. Oh, that's a major one. It doesn't go on your personal credit. That's major. That's absolutely major. For a community where we know we're already subjected to predatory lending, we know that we're already subjected to scrutiny when it comes to our personal credit based solely on the color of your skin. Don't let anyone fool you about that, okay? So let me tell you something. The credit bureaus are not your friends, okay? They're not your friends. So don't think you calling over there trying to get something corrected is gonna, they feel sorry for you. They don't, because they sell your bad credit and they make money on you based upon how bad your personal credit is. So don't think for a second that because you're calling and, you got all these things, you want a correction. They don't care nothing about that. They would prefer for you to have bad credit because they wouldn't make money off of you if you had good credit. Do you understand what I'm saying? So don't use your social when it comes to business. There may be times where you feel like you have no other option, but I'm here tonight to show you that you have another option. If you could go straight to, I want you to go to slide number 25. Slide number 25. And let me tell you about this, what I'm about to show you. This is public information that you can find online for free, okay? All of the big companies use credit. They don't use their cash. They don't. That's how they operate. Walmart, okay? Who is that? Pilot Travel Centers. Click it for the next one. Walmart. All of them use business credit. That's how they're able to stay afloat. They're not using their liquid cash, okay? They establish trade lines, and trade lines enable them to be able to move their cash, okay? That's what you call cash management. If all you have is your payroll money, okay, and you need to be able to get a job done, and you need these supplies. If you use that cash, you can't get those supplies, and you're subject to lose that client. Then what payroll would you have in the future? You won't have a payroll because you'll be out of business. Isn't that what's happening to the majority of our small businesses right now? I want you to check out Walmart. If you don't believe me, look at my slides right here, okay? I want you to check out Walmart. I want you to check out any and every publicly traded company. All you have to do is go on their website, scroll down to the bottom where it says investors, okay? In little fine size font. Click on investors, and I want you to look at the financial statements, and they will tell you how much, okay? How much credit, how much liquidity they have, okay? Liquid cash, that's the money you can go to the bank and get, okay? They're floating. Over 80% of their business is using credit. But that's not only for big businesses. Small businesses can get it too, okay? Simple process. 80% of their cash injection is from credit. So that leaves the other 20% in liquid cash, right? New businesses can get credit too. I want you to go ahead and take us to slide number 29. And I'm skipping ahead because this is good stuff, and I want to make sure we get it in 30 minutes. And who's my timekeeper to make sure I don't go over time? Okay. So I need to be looking over there. Wonderful. Number 1, okay? Okay. The business starts with no credit profile, much like a baby, okay? The baby is born, then you have to establish the business. The business gets approved for new credit, and it begins to report to the credit reporting agencies. The business uses the credit and pays the bills timely to qualify for more credit. Next slide. I actually want to go straight to the steps. Step number 1, credibility. Let me tell you something about Shade Tree Mechanics. I love them, okay? I think most of us do. Let's just be real, okay? Because, they're affordable, they're accessible, they have all the tools at the house, right? So, why not save a couple $100? Here's the problem. The number 1 step in establishing business credit is ensuring that the business is credible. What does that mean? Yes, we know you have a business name. You went on the Corporation Estates website and you put that up there. You got the EIN number. That doesn't mean anything to creditors, okay? That means nothing to lenders. They don't care. Anybody could do that. My son could go and, pay $100 and get his name up on there if he wanted to, right? That doesn't mean I'm in business. That just means I've reserved a name and I paid for the name that I decided that I wanted to be, a business entity, right? So the perception to lenders and creditors is that your business build a strong reputation. Number 1, okay? Before applying for business credit, and the business must ensure that it meets all lender and grant credibility. I keep saying credibility. I want you to remember that. That's number 1. Okay, there are over 20 credibility tests, okay? Slide number 31. Number 1, your business name. You have to establish the business name. Can't be, whatever it is today and it's something else tomorrow, okay? That's number 1. Your business name should include any DBAs, not something that you just came up with and you decide you're just going to make it up, okay? It needs to be, if it's a DBA, it needs to be filed appropriately in the county, okay? You need to ensure that your business name is exactly the same everywhere, okay? It can't be one thing here and then something else somewhere else, okay? It needs to be credible. Number 2, the corporate entity must match the name. So if you're an LLC, it needs to say whatever the name is that you said it was. The EIN number, all of that stuff must match, okay? Why? Because when you go and apply, they're going to look, okay? They're going to look. And now they're getting real fancy. They're using Google Maps and Street View, okay? So they're going all the way down to see if you're really a business or you're, just an empty parking lot with nothing there. So they can see it now. We can all see it using Google Maps, and they can even go Street View and walk straight through the door. So number 3, your EIN number. must match. Okay, if you said you're an LLC, Secretary of State must say LLC, and the business name must match. If there is an A on the state, it needs to be an A on the EIN. Everything. The business address, again, they are using Google Maps, okay? They're literally going down. If you give them an address for your business, and it is not a business address, I can promise you, you will get denied. If you don't pass, number one is the credibility, okay, of the business, is establishing the business correctly initially, okay? Your business address, 411, do you know that you could get denied for business or any kind of credit if you don't have your number listed in 411? Simple. Simple things. A lot of people don't know that. If your number is not properly registered and listed, they will deny you. And it could be a legitimate number. You just didn't register it, so you get a denial. Okay? And the phone number, you know, they prefer 800 numbers, but everyone doesn't require that. We've gotten it so good and tested so many businesses to the point where right now, a lot of the numbers, you can even use a Google account. You can use a Google account and register that on 411 for free. Okay? So you don't have to be paying a whole bunch of money every month. Fax number. A lot of them like to see a fax number. Easy. Go online, get a fax number for $2.99 a month. Okay? Your website. Again, credibility. If you don't have a website, you're getting denied. You're getting denied, so you need to have a website. Credibility. That's our website on 41 for Community Action Now. You can find us. You can even click on the address and go straight to our address in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Easy. We're registered. You have to be registered. Email, 43. You guys, this is one that the pet peeve to me. Their personal emails, the Gmails and all of that. It's a no. No, you ain't going to the club at yahoo.com, all of that crazy stuff, okay? It's a no. It's a no. Do not present, some personal Gmail, Yahoo. Go online, get you, an affordable website host that provides emails, okay? And if you're a nonprofit, then you can get it for free. You can get the whole stuff for free, okay? Bank account. You need to have a bank account, okay? If you're talking about your business and then, if your business name is your name, okay, then that makes sense. But if your business name is something else, don't be asking people to write the check to you. That's a no-no. It should go to your business. Do we understand that? We on the same page? Licensing. You need to be licensed. They're going to check. They're going to check. Don't think you're fooling anyone. They're going to check. Bonus. Now, this is for those that are nonprofits as well, okay? So I'm covering both right now. I need you all to understand that you have to have all of this together, okay? You have to have this. Business listings. I've got to wrap up. I've given you, okay, 2 very important key steps to establishing business credit, okay? Very, very important. We've got a table in the back. We can help you with establishing your business credit. I would be remiss if I did not mention the work that we're doing in the U.S. Virgin Islands. I would absolutely be remiss. As you all know, we've been through 2 Category 5 hurricanes. We are one of the disaster response nonprofit organizations there. To date, we've provided disaster services to over 20,000 Virgin Islanders. We have provided support to over 365 medical evacuees that were right here in Atlanta, and we invite you to come to the Virgin Islands. We are actually looking for skilled workers that would come. There's funding available. We can get you there. At least 10 to 15 that would like to join us for a mission in the U.S. Virgin Islands, because we are going to be in recovery for about the next 5 years. So we welcome you. We'd love to have you. Thank you so much for this.